On the night of September 18, 2025, millions of ARMY around the world turned on their notifications as soon as the news spread that Taehyung, or V of BTS, had returned for a live broadcast on Weverse. In recent months, Taehyung had rarely appeared on the platform due to his personal commitments and music activities. His comeback in this interactive session was greeted with enthusiasm. Comments poured in, the server briefly slowed down, and Taehyung Live climbed to the top of X's Twitter trending topics within minutes. Unlike his appearances at concerts or formal interviews, Taehyung appeared simple. Wearing a loose white t-shirt, his hair slightly tousled, and his signature smile creating a friendly atmosphere. Fans described him as home version Taehyung because of his natural laid-back vibe. He greeted everyone with a gentle voice. "It's been a while since we met here. How is everyone doing?" That short line was enough to move ARMY and make them feel close to their idol once again. In the middle of the broadcast, Taehyung opened his phone and began playing a few tracks. To everyone's surprise, almost all of them came from the legendary Korean R&B group Brown Eyed Soul. Taehyung mentioned that they had always been one of his sources of inspiration in music. Songs like Nothing Better and My Story echoed through the small speaker in the room where he was live streaming. ARMY immediately flooded the chat with exclamations, "King of Taste," "V knows the best music," and ARMY plus Brown Eyed Soul equals perfect combo. Taehyung didn't just play the songs. He also shared his memories. He confessed that he used to listen to Brown Eyed Soul often during his trainee days. For him, their music taught him about genuine emotions and how to deliver feelings through vocals. "They always make me want to sing more sincerely," he said. Fans were touched, knowing that many of BTS's most heartfelt works came from the members' deep personal experiences. Not long after the live ended, hashtags like #VPlaylist and #BrownEyed Soul trended across multiple countries, from Korea to Latin America. Many international fans admitted it was their first time listening to Brown Eyed Soul. Thanks to Taehyung's recommendation, streaming platforms even reported a surge of hundreds of thousands of plays for the group's songs within hours. Once again, Taehyung had proven his global influence, not just as an idol, but as a music curator. Taehyung's Weverse appearance highlighted how one artist can bridge generations of music. Brown Eyed Soul debuted in the early 2000s, while many newer ARMY are still teenagers or in their early 20s. With a single live session, Taehyung connected two generations of music lovers. Korean music critics even describe this phenomenon as the Taehyung domino effect, where his recommendations consistently influence global streaming trends. In addition to sharing his playlist, Taehyung entertained ARMY with jokes. At one point, he mimicked Brown Eyed Soul's distinctive vocal style using his deep baritone voice, which made fans laugh and admire him even more. Some of the comments he read on screen even made him blush. One fan wrote, "Taehyung, you are the new generation Brown Eyed Soul," which he responded to with shy laughter, hiding his face in his hands. Many fans later posted on forums saying that Taehyung's Weverse Live gave them a boost of energy. Some even called the session a healing moment. Thanks to the emotional weight of Brown Eyed Soul's music combined with Taehyung's warm interaction, this showed just how deeply a simple idol-fan connection could affect people's emotions and well-being. The impact wasn't only felt by ARMY, Brown Eyed Soul themselves also benefited. The group gained fresh global attention, with multiple media outlets pointing out that Taehyung's recommendation could mark a second wave of popularity for them. Longtime fans expressed their gratitude, happy that a new generation was finally discovering what they considered to be one of Korea's musical treasures. Although the Weverse Live lasted less than an hour, its effect lingered for days. Taehyung once again proved that he is more than just an idol performing on grand stages. He is also an artist with refined musical taste and the ability to connect people through songs. By sharing his Brown Eyed Soul playlist, Taehyung didn't just provide entertainment. He opened a door for new appreciation of Korean music, reinforcing his role as both a global star and a cultural bridge. The fascination surrounding Taehyung's live stream didn't end with the initial viral explosion. In the days that followed, discussions continued to dominate online platforms, podcasts, and entertainment columns. Fans began dissecting every detail of the stream: the way his eyes lit up while singing, the subtle rasp in his tone, even the moment when he leaned back casually against his chair, looking completely at ease. Each of these small gestures became a topic of endless fascination, demonstrating the power Taehyung holds as both a performer and a cultural figure. Music critics were particularly intrigued by the choice of "I'll Make Love to You." The song, once a staple of the 90s R&B era, has been covered by many artists, but rarely with the kind of emotional sincerity Taehyung conveyed. Critics noted that it was not simply a rendition, but a reinterpretation. When Taehyung sings it, there is a vulnerability layered into the song that reflects who he is now as an artist. One critic from Enemy observed. This comment opened a broader conversation about how idols like Taehyung are reshaping the legacy of global classics by bridging cultures and generations. For many fans, the performance symbolized a transition. Taehyung, long celebrated as the member of BTS with a baritone voice suited for soul, was now openly leaning into that identity. His previous solo work, from Stigma to Singularity and more recent projects, hinted at this direction, but the live cemented it in a way that felt undeniable. Fans began revisiting his older performances, creating playlists that traced the evolution of his sound. On platforms like Spotify and Apple Music, streams of his solo tracks spiked significantly in the week following the Live. Army's creative response was equally powerful. On TikTok, thousands of fans began recording their own duets with Taehyung's live vocals, layering their harmonies with his deep tone. Others took the moment as inspiration to write fanfiction, design digital art, or choreograph dance covers to the song. Within days, a fan-organized project emerged, compiling all fan reactions and artworks into a digital magazine dedicated solely to the "I'll Make Love to You" performance. The project trended on Twitter under the hashtag #TaehyungFanzine, receiving contributions from fans across more than 50 countries. Meanwhile, Korean news outlets picked up on the unexpected global wave. One article from Yonhap News remarked on how Taehyung continues to dominate cultural conversation, even during what might appear to be a quieter period of his career. His presence alone, amplified by his artistry, is enough to captivate the global stage without the need for elaborate promotion, the article noted. This observation highlighted a key truth about Taehyung: his ability to transform even the most ordinary setting into a cultural event. Another significant layer of discussion emerged around masculinity and vulnerability in K-pop. By choosing to sing a song as intimate as "I'll Make Love to You," Taehyung defied conventional expectations of male idols, who often avoid overtly sensual or romantic tracks in unscripted settings. Scholars of pop culture began weighing in on how performances like his redefined global perceptions of Korean masculinity. Articles in cultural studies journals praised Taehyung for normalizing emotional openness in male performers, bridging the gap between East and West in terms of performance style. Fans themselves echoed these sentiments. When he sang that song, it wasn't about sexuality. It was about love, sincerity, and human connection. A fan from France wrote in a blog post that went viral among ARMY circles. Others described how the performance gave them comfort, especially those experiencing loneliness or stress. One Indonesian fan wrote on Twitter, "Taehyung's voice felt like a warm hug through the screen. It reminded me that